So the thing about the root chakra is that while I do believe you can have success in singling out other chakras for other purposes, if there's other things that you want to work on, you can only get so far until you also address your root chakra. So you can address your other chakras all you want, but if the root chakra does not get balanced, it's likely that you're going to continue to struggle. Maybe not as much, but you might find that you are not as able to clear these other things that you're trying to focus on because there's something with your root chakra that you are not dealing with. Welcome to the Energy Within podcast, helping you to embrace your weird, beat imposter syndrome, and take action on your soul's purpose. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master teacher, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 184, and I almost put this one off just because I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to record, but we're recording it. It's going to get edited quickly, and hopefully there won't be any time lapse or noticeable time lapse by the time you're listening to this. So I promised that we would start a series on the chakras. So we are going to begin with the root chakra. So this is all tying back to how I do Reiki sessions, why these energy centers are important, and breaking down here what each one of them specifically do, what they each do. Okay. I was a writing major. I should know whether I should say does or do. So, in a Reiki session, I am focusing primarily on your chakras and picking up what I'm sensing, what images, what symbols I might be getting, some form of representation that tells me what's going on in each chakra, why it may or may not be blocked. And I think it's important to note that while I am going in specifically looking to find blockages in a full session as I'm going over every single chakra, it doesn't mean I'm going to find a block or anything wrong with every single chakra. There are plenty of times when I have seen images that tell me that everything is perfectly fine with that chakra. And it could mean that it's fine forever. It could mean that it's fine for this moment, but maybe the next time we have a session, something will have happened where it might start to close itself off a little bit. So everything can be in a little bit of a state of flux. Ideally, we're trying to get to a point where our chakras are always open. But if you recall, if you listen to the updated What is Reiki episode from last week, you heard me mention that energy work, whether it's Reiki or some other modality that you're using, it's not a bad idea to use it for maintenance. Our energy is always affected by what we do, who we interact with, how we're interacting with people. Maybe things that we're not doing are affecting our chakras. So if we are not maintaining, that's when we open ourselves up to creating a block. Or could be the opposite, where the chakra starts spinning too fast, or the energy center is expanding too wide and we need to bring it back down. So it's always going to be different. It's going to be different depending on each person, where you are in your journey, what happened to you, what's been healed, what has yet to be healed, what's going on right this moment with you. So it all varies. But the chakras go in order from 1 at the bottom, being your root chakra at the base of your spine, and then working its way up from there. But today we are just going to focus on the root chakra. So the root chakra is responsible for your feelings of safety, security. It deals with anything having to do with the home, with finances, with family. So if things are going well for you in those areas, your root chakra is likely fine. If you tend to have a lot of issues in those areas, you may have a blockage, or your root chakra could be overactive. So it could go either way. If you tend to struggle with feeling safe, if you are in a constant state of stress and worry, and maybe you're stressed out about money a lot and you're worried about paying your bills, or maybe you need to find a job or something like that, you don't feel safe, you don't feel stable, you don't feel secure, there are definitely root chakra issues that are going on. Anything at the base of the spine physically, so anything that's going on physically in that area, the sacral, which is the next one up, could be closely related to lower back pain, but it could also be tied to your root chakra. So your root chakra is responsible for your connection to the earth and your ability to feel grounded. And being grounded is extremely important. I believe I did an episode on this way back. I don't know what number it is, and I don't know that I'll have time to remember to look and find it, but you can feel free to scroll back. I'm pretty sure I did one on the importance of being grounded, but nonetheless, feeling grounded and physically grounding yourself, like going outside bare feet on the grass, letting your body have that physical connection to the earth, is so important for balancing out your energy and helping you to feel calm and safe and secure. The lower three chakras are considered more masculine energy chakras, connecting you to the earth, keeping you more grounded. And the upper three chakras, so the heart is the center one, 3 below, and then the 3 above are considered the more feminine energy. They are more spiritually oriented, keeping you connected to the divine. So if your lower chakras are more out of whack than your upper chakras, you're feeling unbalanced, you're feeling ungrounded, you're floating then way too high, and you need to bring yourself back down and secure that connection. We want to be connected spiritually up above, but we also still need that connection to the earth, keeping us grounded, keeping us in our human state as well, because we're here as humans on purpose. So to deny that and only focus on the spiritual side is going to throw you out of balance. And it's going to show up in your emotions. It's going to show up somehow physically if you're not dealing with it. So perhaps, let's just say as an example, you have chronic back pain, or you have hip issues, or something is going on with your knees, anything down lower in that area. It could be that your root chakra needs some attention. This is also where we store any childhood trauma, energetically speaking. So it's basically like a tape recorder, and I hope we're all old enough here to know what a tape recorder was. Basically imprinting those memories into your root chakra, telling you whether or not you are safe, if you're taken care of, or if you need to fend for yourself. And that will affect you as you get older. So if you maybe have these feelings that you always have to do everything yourself, that no one's ever going to look out for you, no one's going to take care of you, you have to put yourself first because no one else is going to do anything for you, there's an out of balance root chakra there. If you also maybe worry that maybe you were overprotected, maybe you had feelings created for you that told you that you can't do anything by yourself, that you need other people to take care of you, your root chakra will be out of balance until you deal with that and clear it. So if you have more of a healthy balance where you do accept responsibility for what goes on in your life, you know you have control over the things that you have control over, but you're also able to ask for help, you feel okay, you feel safe asking for help and receiving help, then your root chakra is probably balanced. But if you had those childhood traumas that you either remember or perhaps locked away, they're still recorded one way or another in your root chakra. The developmental age for the root chakra is between ages 1 to 8. So anything that occurred during that time that was not dealt with, whether in an energetic way or in a therapeutic way or just some way of getting it out of your body, of your energy body, of your thoughts, of your chakras, then it's still recorded there. It's still hanging out there, and your body is still reacting accordingly. So the thing about the root chakra is that while I do believe you can have success in singling out other chakras for other purposes, if there's other things that you want to work on, which will start to make more sense in future episodes as we're talking about each chakra, because they each deal with different things. Say there's something else you want to focus on. Say it's your confidence level. Well, the first chakra that comes to mind for that is your solar plexus. But if you don't feel safe to express your confidence, you can only get so far until you also address your root chakra. So you can address your other chakras all you want, but if the root chakra does not get balanced, it's likely that you're going to continue to struggle. Maybe not as much, but you might find that you are not as able to clear these other things that you're trying to focus on because there's something with your root chakra that you are not dealing with. So in a Reiki session, when you come to me or another practitioner to do the energy work for you, because this is absolutely something you can do yourself as well, but if you come to somebody else, you come to me, what I'm doing is connecting energetically to your energy field, looking into your chakras and seeing what images come up for me. And what I tend to see, this is going to be different for every Reiki practitioner, but what I tend to see is a tree, roots, groundedness, connected to the earth, and whatever is going on with that tree gives me an indication of what's going on with the root chakra and what we need to do to clear that energy, to clear the blockage, or to bring things back in. Or even if maybe everything's okay, I'll get a different image for that. So I've seen trees that are completely cracked in half, where we've got to pull the entire thing out by the roots and replant a new one and start a new story in your life, a new start, a fresh beginning. And energetically, I will do that for you in the Reiki session. And ideally, you will come out of that session feeling that change, feeling a different kind of energy in that part of your body that will also then give you the confidence to move forward, to start writing that new story. But I've also seen a more recent one was an image that I almost didn't even mention because I wasn't sure how relevant it was. It was a quick Reiki session at a vendor event that I did. So it was just a couple chakras, just a couple minutes that we were going over. And it popped up for me. I saw this woman sitting very happily in her tree. Well, come to find out, she's looking at moving and kind of wanted to know if this was going to be a good idea or not. Well, once I found that out, I'm like, well, actually, usually I would say beforehand, but I'm like, oh, there was nothing of note. She was just hanging out in her tree. Everything's fine. Well, I have to remember, I've said this to myself multiple times, 99% of the time, I follow the intention that I set from day one when I started learning Reiki, that whatever I see, whatever comes up, it's what I saw. So I'm just going to tell my client that that's what I saw, that's what happened, and we can talk about what it means. Every once in a while, there will be something that I'm like, well, I don't know if I need to, we're fine. That wasn't that significant, and I know better. So I should have said it right away. But I still brought it up to her as soon as she said that. And basically, we determined that was an indication that this is going to be a great thing. It's going to work out well. She's happy with the decision, and it appears that she will continue to feel happy with the decision once the action has taken place. There was also way back in, I think, my Reiki 2 class, where we all got paired with someone to practice with, and there was an uneven number of us. And here was my intuition. Almost every time we got paired up, it was like I knew who I was going to get paired with. It was weird, but it's intuition. Those were the nudges to trust myself. I knew I was going to get paired with my teacher. And lo and behold, I got paired with my teacher. So here I was still learning how to talk about what I saw beyond just saying, this is what I saw. Like helping the other person to understand what it might mean, what each chakra relates to. I was still learning all of that. So all I found was that I felt almost stuck in her root chakra. Like her root chakra wanted so much attention that I didn't really get to much else during the practice, because every time I would think like maybe it's done, as I wasn't really getting the nudge to move, but I'm like, I don't know how much time I should be spending here. Maybe I should be moving on. I was still in my own head a little too much because this was way back in the beginning. But she helped me to decipher it, and she had just moved, and while things were mostly okay, there were some uncertain things that were bothering her. And having been shaken up from where she had been for such a long time, and now all of a sudden making this move, and there were other things personally that was going on in her life, that's why her root chakra wanted so much attention. It was all about the home and those feelings of safety and security, and everything relating to that for her had just gotten shaken up. So her root chakra needed some calming attention to feel safe, to feel stable, to feel secure, to get grounded again in this new space. So if you are in a situation like that where you're moving from place to place, or you just had a recent move, and you're feeling unbalanced, you're feeling maybe a little spacey, a little unsure, focus on your root chakra. Ground yourself. Besides doing a Reiki session, which of course is what I recommend to really get in there and help clear out the block, you can do simple acts to ground yourself, like going outside, walking on the earth, sitting on the grass. Do a meditation. Do a meditation while sitting outside on the grass. Color therapy is always great for helping with each of the chakras, and the root chakra is red. So eat red foods. Wear the color red. Put red items in your space where you're going to see it, where you can focus in on that color and take a few breaths and use that as a cue to help you ground yourself. You can absolutely look up any way you like to find a grounding or root meditation. I do have a root meditation, a grounding meditation that you can look up. There's 2 ways that you can get it. So the first one is just on the podcast here. If you scroll back, it was March of last year. So I don't remember the number of the podcast, but if you go back to March of last year, which was when I did Meditation March, you'll find the grounding meditation. And that's in the style of a podcast, so it's me talking in the beginning. It has the intro. I do a little bit of an outro at the end, but there is a full meditation in that podcast. If you just want the meditation, you don't have any desire or need to hear me talk, or you listen to it on the podcast, but then you would like to have just the meditation, you can go to the website. That link is always in the show notes, so I know for a fact that you can find that in the show notes, and there you can have access to a collection of 5 free meditations. You don't have to download all of them, but you absolutely can if you want all of them. But one of them is the grounding meditation, where you'll find just the MP3 of just the meditation, none of the podcast intros or outros on any of those tracks. So those you can go to my website for and get instant access and download those and keep those forever. So you can use that as a way to help you clear out your root chakra. This could go way further in depth, but I'm going to keep this short. This is not meant to be a full-on masterclass. We can get so much further into which way the chakra is supposed to spin, whether it's an input center or an output center for your energy. It's actually, every chakra I'm learning is a little bit of both. It kind of depends on, again, what's going on in your life. We determine if there's too much input, not enough output, back and forth, what the masculine energy side of it, the yang side of it is, what's going on with the yin side, the feminine energy side. There's so much that we could talk about, but I'm not going to get too much further into it because I don't want to confuse you or overwhelm you. And there's plenty of that I'm still in the process of learning myself. It's connected to different organs in your body, which I'll fully admit I don't 100% remember every organ that's attached to every chakra, because it's not something I specifically focus on unless someone comes to me asking about a specific organ or area of the body. But I will tell you it's associated with the adrenals. So if you're perhaps struggling with adrenal fatigue or anything like that, that's a root chakra issue. So if we focus on your root chakra, maybe you've tried other things to heal whatever is going on that could be connected to your root chakra. You've tried everything in other ways, and maybe nothing's working, or things are only sort of working but not fully. Your next step could be a Reiki session or some way of focusing on your root chakra to help clear this out. The root chakra is actually the basis for the Unshackled program that I ran earlier this year, that I will be running again. I just don't know exactly when yet, because I want to go in and update it, revamp it a little bit. I feel like it was great. I just want to have another look at it, make 2.0 even better than the beta run. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I do want to let you know that the membership is only on pause. I'm going to relaunch pretty soon. It's not completely scrapped. It will be coming up soon. I just need to figure out a few things before I relaunch it. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you jump inside the Energy Within Facebook group and let me know your thoughts on this one. And if you feel called to booking a Reiki session, please go ahead and check the show notes and you can do that there. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.